Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and today I'm going to review this Zemismart Wi-Fi downlight. And it's going to be interesting, and to some extent a little bit first, because as you can see, this one supports Apple HomeKit, Apple Home. And but not only that, it also works with Tuya. So now you have an option to either get this device if you want to integrate it into the Apple ecosystem, or if you don't have Apple, you just want to use it together with any other Tuya compatible lights, you can do that. So you can just register it in both of the system, and it works in both systems. Obviously, I've tested it. The other bonus about this one is you can see it's an RGBW LED downlight. So it means that it has separate LEDs for the red, green and blue, so all the color lights, and also there are separate LEDs for warm and cool light. So if you want to use it as a normal white light, then it's going to have a much better color than if it would be just a regular red, green and blue, because that can never reproduce a really nice white light. And of course you can change the color temperature if you are using it in white mode, or you can just use the colors. And of course you can do the dimming and the usual stuff, and in the Tuya application you have access to some color scenes and some color pattern, and also some voice response as well, or sort of audio response. So it listens to the microphone on the phone, and then it changes color, so it vibrates. It's something that I never use, I never really tested. I just show you how it used in the app, because I don't think that many people would use that. And of course, this is the first time I was doing anything in the Apple ecosystem, so that was a little bit new to me. So I've done a little bit more in terms of how you set it up in the Apple HomeKit system. I don't have any Apple HomePods, so basically I was just syncing it up with my iPhone, and it was working fine. It was a fairly quick and easy process. Of course, if you want to access this device from your outside network using an iPhone, you also need an Apple HomePod or some other compatible device which acts as a bridge. But if you want to control it locally, you can just use a phone as well. Just a little more thoughts about this downlight. As you can see, it comes in two separate, let's say, package or box. You get the downlight, which is the sort of the usual construction, big heat sink, and you have these sort of prongs or clips that you fold down, and this is how you push it up into the onto the ceiling, into the cutout, and then it's going to hold. These are going to spring back, and it's going to hold the light. There is a fairly big heat sink. And this part is actually, this part also feels cold, so I think this is aluminum as well. And then you get a separate power supply, and as you can see, it has just mains input, and the input supports from 100 to 240 volts, and this is the power supply is for 12 volts, and I'm going to overlay the listing here, but you can basically get this light in 3 different versions. Obviously they come in different sizes, and the voltage rating or the wattage rating is going to be different. And everything comes assembled in the box. So what you get is you get the downlight and obviously the controller, and they are already wired together. But I have opened this up for you, so you can see that there is a wiring connector which you can just easily unplug. So if anything goes wrong with the controller or even with the light bulb, then you can just change it separately, and it's really easy to connect it back together like so. And also there is a push button there which you can use to reset the device if you ever need to do that. And there are 2 plastic covers that are going to cover all these ports. So this one goes here and the other one goes there. The only reason I remove this because they have these these recessed clips. So once you push it in, it is really easy to get it off. Basically, I had to have like 2 pliers and then pry this piece of plastic up so I can lift it out. It also comes with a very, very small manual, and it has basically just 3 pages. One shows the installation and how you reset and the other one shows how you do the pairing with the Home app or with the Tuya Smart app. But the Tuya Smart app is simple. I mean, I've done it many times. For the Home app, I'm going to show you how it's done, mostly because I have done it for the first time as well. And there was a little bit of hiccup that you're going to see in the video, but after all, there are multiple methods how you can link the two devices together, and it was simple. It only took me like, I don't know, 20 seconds to get it done. And by the way, the light comes in this box, a fairly generic box, and you can see this is the 12-volt version. This is the middle size one, and you can see some stats here as well. And yeah, that's basically it. It came really fast. There is a German address here, so I think they do have a European warehouse, because after ordering it from AliExpress, I don't think it was more than like a week for me for it to arrive. So it was really quick. Okay, so I added this ceiling light to my Tuya application, and I mean, I was just using the normal process, so I was just adding device, and I think I just selected one of the lights. I think I used this ceiling light, which you see in the middle of the screen, ceiling light Wi-Fi. But to be honest, I don't think it really makes a difference whether you are just using a strip light or a light source, because it knows what the device is and it's going to set the screen accordingly. But you can see it's the default name is Smart Downlight, so I haven't changed that. And then right in the on the main screen you have an on-off button, and then when you turn it on, then you see it's on and it's 10% brightness, and some other details you get as well. And this is how the main screen looks like. So it is quite a new control. I mean, I've looked at a couple of these RGB lights, and this UI is a slightly bit different. So on the top you have this slider where you can control the brightness. So it gets really bright. Yeah, I mean, it's 9 watts, so it gets really bright. So I'm trying to just use really low brightness, so you can't, well, it's not going to saturate the camera. And of course you have this main color wheel, and then it changes color. And it looks like when you are changing the color, then it changes immediately. And by the way, when you turn it on and off, there is a very quick fade. So it's not instantaneous, but it's really quick. And also on the top of the screen, you have a couple of defaults that you can call up. And it looks like that these defaults also remember the intensity. So let me just bring it down back. And you can also swipe to the right on this screen, and that will take you back to the, well, that switches between the RGB colors or the white colors. So you can see how it does that. So you can't, so you have to click on the either the color wheel or the color temperature wheel. You can't sort of swipe, because then you change between the two different modes. And again, here you can see that you can have, you know, a cool light, some sort of, I guess, natural light, which is in between, and you can have the warm white. And that's one of the reasons I like to bring the brightness down, because I think, I'm not sure if it's going to come through in the camera, but you can see how the LEDs are placed. So it looks like there is a ring of white lights, and it's probably like an alternating cool white and warm white LEDs. And for the colors, it looks like that it's like an inner circle of RGB lights. Well, not that it really makes a difference. It just, if you put it at full brightness, you won't see all these details. And of course, here on the top, there is also a couple of presets, and it looks like there is like a warm white with very low brightness, and then sort of like a regular white or a natural white with half a brightness, and a cool white with a full brightness. So that's it. And then on the bottom you have a couple of other controls. So you have a main on-off button here, and this is the dimmer mode, so you can control colors, color temperature, and the brightness. You also have this scene. So there are again a couple of presets here, and some of these are preset colors and brightnesses, but then if you pick some of these, you will see that they also do some transitions, change between colors, and there are loads of these. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of flickering and fading ones. I don't know if you would be able to pick anything that you like, but yeah, I mean, some of them I just find it really annoying. And as you can see, you can even, you know, set the name of the scene, whether it's a color scene or a white scene, and then you can have a number of colors and a mode in between. So you can really create your own sort of effect as it transitions between different colors. So, and of course you can have a speed. So this one goes between bright green and a darker green. If I pick this colorful, you can see that, I mean, you can have quite a few different colors. And as you can see, you have a preview on the top as well. So that's going to cycle through these colors and it's going to flash, so which you can see here. So let me just get out of these because that gets annoying. So let's go back to low brightness again. So that's a scene. Again, I don't know if you find these things useful, and but at least you can have your own custom colors. So maybe if you have like two colors, then maybe just really slowly fade in between two of those two colors or a couple of colors. That could be useful. Maybe you just have slightly different tints of oranges or something, or orange and red, and then just going to fade in between the two. That could be a nice effect. So still not a static light, but not something really annoying. And you have the obligatory music option. Oh yeah, the microphone is not available because I'm doing the screen recording, but basically just really listening to the ambient sounds, and it's going to do some flickering of colors. So nothing really interesting. And we also have a last option, which is settings. And here I found that some of these things are a little bit named, or some of the tags are a little bit unfortunate. So you have the plan on the top, which is more like the schedule kind of thing. So this is how the schedule look like. So for example, I can create a schedule that I want this light to turn on at 6 p.m. and turn off at 11 p.m. on Monday to Friday, and I want it to turn on at blue color at 14% brightness. And I'm not sure why it says random schedule in the top. I don't see anything random in here. I mean, you pick an exact time, so there's nothing really random about that. So you save that, and of course you can activate. So this is a normal schedule, and when you add, you can have a random timing, which is this one. So I don't think it's random, it is a timing. So you can again set start and end time, a color, brightness, or a white color, and the day of the week. So fairly, extensive or comprehensive. And of course you can have multiple of these. And then you can also add a cycle timer. So again, these are the on-off cycles. So again, start and end time, the day of the week, and you can have an opening time and a closing time. So I guess this is an on period and an off period. And again, you can customize the same way as you have customized the other one. So I don't want to add that. And there are two more. Actually, they have included this, which I quite like. So there is a sleep plan where you configure that I want to go to bed, or so I want to start sleep at 11 p.m. and I want this light to have a 30-minute fade out. So you can see that it's going to turn off at 11:30 because that's half an hour after. So you can have a really long fade out, or you can have a really short one. So that would just automatically fade from whatever color you pick into darkness, or turn it off. And you also have the other way around, which is the wake up. So again, it will gradually come on to this color starting 6:30, and by 7 o'clock it's going to be on the time, or sorry, on the color and the brightness that you set it to. So I think it's nice that they have added these two. To be honest, I haven't seen, I mean, obviously seen the normal schedule and the timing, but not the sleep plan and the wake up plan. I think that those are nice touches. And you also have a schedule. So why you have two of these, really, I have no idea, because this is I guess this is the standard one that we used to, because you have only a time, sorry, or hour and minutes and the day of the week, and then you have either on or off. So this is the simple schedule. But now you have a plan and a schedule as well. To be honest, I have just kept the plan and then just hidden the schedule, because it feels like a duplicate of the plan with fewer functions. And also even the timer, so if you have this on, you can just have a timer that, you know, after 2 hours it's going to turn off. So it's like a one-off thing. And you also have this biorhythm, which is, it's almost like, oh yeah, it's conflicting with the schedule. So if I go to the plan and if I turn this off, maybe I can delete this as well. And I have no idea what biorhythm is, but I guess this is more like the, you know, the wake up and the sleep timer. So you can see that it will have a preset temperature to wake up to and a brightness, and then, you know, how it basically goes through the day. It's going to follow your rhythms, like you know, in during the evenings and in the morning you would have a warmer temperature, and then it's going to use cooler light during the daytime. So, and of course you can, you know, configure these as well. But I think this preset is going to be nice. You can just adjust the timing. But this is going to be something where the, oh, sorry. So that's going to be something that is going to follow throughout the day. It's giving you like an ambient illumination. I'm not sure how many of you are going to use this, but okay, this is the biorhythm. So let me just turn off. And then finally we have a power on behavior. So here, as the name suggests, you can configure what the status of the light should be when it powers on. And I guess the most common one is use the color and the brightness that was used the last, which also means that if the light was switched off and then you have a power outage, then it will stay off when the power is restored. Or you can have it to come on a customized color or color temperature. Or you can have an initial default color and brightness, which I have no idea what the default is, but you can't set it. So most probably, I think you should use restore memory or just have it customized. And you also have this do not disturb function, which, to be honest, I haven't seen with any of the other smart lamps. So probably this is some new feature. To be honest, I don't think that this is particularly useful, but you might find some use for this do not disturb function as well. And to be honest, that's pretty much it, because in the settings you just have normal things like, you know, changing the name of the light, and then look at the automations, and then you can share the device, and you can also group the device. So of course you probably are going to have quite a few of these lamps, so you can just group them together so they will be controlled together with the same settings. But that is pretty much it. Let me also look at the scenes quickly. So if I create a new scene, I just want to see what I can do with this lamp in terms of functions. And yeah, you can have the normal on-off mode, which is good. You can have the different mode, whether it's going to be white or a color or a scene or a music sync. Yeah. And you can also set the brightness. You can also set the color temperature. I mean, that's not the most user-friendly way. I'm guessing 0% would be warm white and 100% would be cool white. Not the most intuitive. And yeah. Oh, that's color temperature. But then if I want it in color mode, Yeah, you still have, oh, you don't have the color temperature. Oh, no, you still have the color temperature. So I think, this either means the color, well, the actual color temperature, probably that's the one which can be used to also set the color. Again, not really user friendly, but at least you can probably figure out how you can, have a scene which is going to turn the lights on to either a specific color or a specific color temperature. So I think you are getting the most useful features out in the Tuya application. So I'm just going to cancel this and then just go back to the device. So this is what you get in the Tuya Smart app. I'm doing HomeKit setup for the first time, so I think I'm going to just record the whole thing. Well, if you are familiar with HomeKit, you can probably skip this part now. But I have the lamp flashing because I just removed it from the Tuya app, so it has recognized that it's no longer paired to anything. So it's in pairing mode. So I'm just going to go into my home and I'm going to add a new accessory. And there is a QR code here which I should be able to scan, but for some reason it's not scanning that. So I think I'm going to just use the manual option. So I selected other options and I picked this light, and I'm going to enter the code which is on the package, or actually it's next to the QR code that I was trying to scan. So I'm doing that, and yeah, I have to make sure that I am connected to a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So I have a separate Wi-Fi for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. So of course, if you are on a 5 gigahertz one, it's not going to work. So I just had to manually switch back to the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. But now we are just going to wait until the pairing is completed. And probably something is happening because the light is no longer flashing. Oh, by the way, sorry for the flashing. I could not really do anything about that. Hopefully it's not going to be so pronounced in the camera as it was trying to do the white balance. And yeah, and now it's asking me to put it into a room. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do it put it into the living room, and I just leave the default name, which is the Zemismart Smart Light. So let me just complete. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so, and I can control it from here, so I can lower the brightness. That's going to be much better for the camera. And I can also set, I can also pick some colors here, which these colors have no correspondence with the actual color emitted by the light. And as you can see, I can just very quickly increase and decrease the brightness, and the response is really, really good. So it is responding very, very quickly. I quite like that. And if you bring it all the way down, it's going to turn off the light. I might be telling you really, standard things, but I'm also learning how the HomeKit and the home application works in iOS. And when you selected something from the scene, of course you can edit here, click on edit, and then you can just change the color. Again, really, really responsive. Or if you want a white light, then you can change to a color temperature and then pick your preferred color temperature from the wheel. And when you're done, that would get saved. And then now you can control the brightness or turn it off from here. So you can have a couple of these preset buttons here, and you can just use any of them to change the settings and then just pick a different color. And also you can change the icon for that. So maybe I can just do this one, which is more representative to this dun light. And of course I can tap on the icon as well, and quickly, and that's going to turn the light on and off. And if I tap on the main thing, then it brings up the main control. Obviously, I only have this phone to control this light with. If I would have a HomePod, I could use voice commands as well. And this is why it's important that you rename the actual device to something that you want to use in a voice prompt. And I can also create scenes. So if I want to create a scene, for example, I don't know, like a good morning scene, you can specify that, for this scene, this light actually needs to be turned off, and you know, if I test this scene, yes, it's going to turn off that light. And I can add it to my home view as well. So if I turn it on, good morning, oh yeah, my lights are going to turn off. Probably not the best example, but I guess you get the idea. And yeah, that's pretty much it, what you can do in the home app for now. And of course, you can do a lot more automations, like turning it on and off using various scenes. So this was my review of the Zemismart RGBW downlight, which supports Tuya and also the Apple Home app. If you are interested in this product, I'm going to leave purchasing links in the video description. But that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next video.